Hey Thomas, how are you?
Jonathan, I'm doing fantastic. And here we are, round six, baby. Trump, Harris, logic versus emotion. So we got some good stuff going on today. And I think our viewers are going to be very entertained to see what we're going to present them. So let's go with what happened yesterday. Oprah Winfrey interviews Kamala Harris, okay, in Michigan, in a swing state. That's where they were. And basically, Kamala Harris was asked questions and she doesn't answer them directly. It's all roundabout what she's always been doing. Okay. Your thoughts on this, Jonathan?
I mean, I'm not surprised. We saw it in the debate. We saw it on other interviews she's done. She just and it's not just her; it's her VP pick as well. When asked a question, a direct question for the viewers to know where they stand, they constantly talk about they were in middle America. They were a middle income family, and they don't answer anything of what they're asking. So it doesn't surprise me, but it should make everyone very wary of what's going on because you as citizens, us as citizens, we need to know where these people stand and what they're
Mhm.
going to do for us and really what is their policy? What are they going to do? I don't want to know about where she lived and her parents and how she lived. I want to know what she's going to do for us.
Exactly. And the thing is, even Oprah called her out for dodging the questions. Okay. I mean, she's not offering anything, no plan, no nothing. Oh, we're going to do a $50,000 tax credit. We're going to give you a $6,000 child credit in the first year. People, that's nothing. You hear these numbers, you get excited. But when you look at what they're really offering, listen, $50,000 tax credit on a new business. New businesses are allowed to write off losses legally for the first 5 years. They don't make money at all. So that's like a bullshit comment she's talking about. Okay. As far as the $6,000 credit, okay, it's like you're not getting the money. You're just whatever you're earning, you can write that off. Okay. But it just doesn't make sense, the things she's proposing. One thing I want to start doing, I'm going to mention what's happened this week alone. All right, Jonathan, you pull up the next slide. Yesterday, all right, actually 2 days ago on the 18th, IBM is quietly axing thousands of jobs. All right. We're going to put all these links in on the video so you can look at it yourself and you can see. All right, let's go to the next link. Second round, all right, Cisco layoffs. Is a recession coming? Now, that was yesterday. Earlier in August, Cisco announced 7% employment cut, 5,600 people. This past February, that they actually cut 4,000 people. Now, yesterday's news is going to be even more cuts, all right? And that's what you're looking at. And they're not saying how many. And that's the scary thing. Now, you know what I want to do? Let's look what's happening globally. Go to the next clip. Volkswagen, yesterday, okay? 30,000 employees are going to be actually cut from Germany, from Volkswagen. This is a global issue we're having. Global, all right? Let's go to the next clip. Let's bring it back to the US. What do we got here? Boeing freezes hiring and mulls temporary layoffs, citing the mechanics strike. What's going to happen? You're going to see layoffs because Boeing's actually going to start cutting jobs on top of this. Boeing is a U.S. defense military contractor outside doing the commercial airlines here in the U.S. Let's go to the next one. Now we're going to get into a whole nother segment. Seattle Public Schools closing 17 schools to help a $100 million deficit. Wow, 17 schools. So you got teachers, you got assistant teachers, you got administration, you got principals, you got people in the cafeteria, etc. Let's go. Let's see what happened up in Rochester, New York on the next one. Rochester School Districts is closing 11 schools out of 42. All right. This is, again, affecting teachers, affecting the assistant teachers, affecting administration, the cafeteria, janitorial. This is going to be a domino effect when layoffs are done because it affects local businesses, delis, restaurants, bars, auto parts. auto mechanic. It's going to be a domino effect. All right. Let's go to the next clip. All right. Here you go. New Jersey hospital. They actually cut 997 employees. And this was on August 15th, this happened. All right. August 15th. They ended up cutting 997 jobs. That was 25% of their staff. Again, this is going to affect the local businesses on top of it. There's going to be more jobs lost, all right? Because where do these people go to lunch? Where do they go to buy things, okay? Usually locally. So that's going to affect there. Let's go to the next one. In Texas, child hospital. They actually, we just did that one, right? The child hospital? Okay, 997 employees. The Jersey one was 2,600 employees. So forgive me on that one, my mistake. All right, we're going to sum this all up. All right, let's look what Jamie Dimon happened to say last Friday. The CEO of JP Morgan warns of U.S. economic fate worse than a recession, the worst outcome. Now let's think about that. That is like wild. Now, people that were, alive in the 70s, if you were an adult, all right, 50 years ago, you went through stagflation. That's what exactly Jamie Dimon's talking about. It's going to be a stagflation and inflation, and it's just going to drag on and on and on. And there's going to be more suffering with the interest rates, et cetera. And that, on the credit cards right now, it's over 22 or 23% is the average credit card interest rates. And it's killing the American families in this country. The average American person is suffering. Jonathan, I know I just unloaded a lot. What are your thoughts on all these job losses, not only in the United States, but also globally with Volkswagen and what Jamie Dimon is wrapping this all into one big loop?
We're seeing that it's not just a national problem. It's globally, it's happening across the world. And everything, one little thing has, I said it last time, the ripple effects, right? One
Mm-hmm.
business affects multiple businesses. And, you know, worldwide, like what we do here affects other people, and what they do there affects us. There's all little pieces to the part of how it works. It's a scary time. We said it. We have to be very smart with what we do. We have to be very smart with how you work with your money, with your jobs. Don't jobs, your businesses, whatever it may be. You have to do the right thing all the time. I know we've said that a lot, but in a time of uncertainty, we have to be, aware of everything, all of our surroundings, what's going on, and we talked about it the other day about the Fed cut, and it actually happened. I don't know if it happened at the time. I think we said it was anticipating it happening, right?
Yeah, well,
So
we released the video
yeah,
Wednesday, but it was before at the 2 p.m. the Fed cut, which
yeah.
was a 0.5%.
So we'll see how that how that influences negatively or positively, everything else out there as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's just a lot, and there's so much at stake for the president. And it's funny because I looked at a lot of different videos from like the previous 3 or 4 elections, and everyone always says the same thing. There's so much on the line, there's so much to lose, there's so much, you can't put the wrong person in right now. So I don't know. I don't like when people like try and scare people into thinking a certain way because of how things are out there. But we do have to be smart. You have to look at what we see ourselves. Don't just listen to us or listen to what people say. Think for yourself. Go out there and see what actually is affecting you and your family or you and your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then we need answers, right? We need President Trump was he was in Nassau Coliseum a few days ago, but
Okay.
before he went there, he went to he was at like a crypto bar in the city.
Okay.
And in like 5-10 minutes, he literally said exactly what he's gonna do, how he's gonna do it, what he's gonna do. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like, hey, I grew up a rich kid in or a middle class kid in Queens. He actually told you what he's gonna do for us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I really want both of them. I want everyone to see what both of them are saying, and what, more importantly, what some of them are not saying, because that's what should be scaring us. I don't know how
Another,
all these celebrities, influencers can be pushing Kamala Harris without knowing what she's actually for.
Well, you know why these celebrities are on board, the majority of them, because they're all part of the big old like cabal. Okay, they're all part of this Hollywood music industry. It's all bought and paid for, you know. So if these stars want to keep their status, keep doing what they're doing, they got to go along with the narrative. If they go against it, they're going to be ostracized, and that's what happens. Unfortunately, people don't have B&B, what I call balls and backbone. They can't stand up for their own convictions, and that's pretty damn sad. And that goes for a lot of the alphabetical agencies who is supposed to protect the U.S. Constitution along with our politicians. But one thing I want to jump on what you just said about Donald Trump being on Long Island. It was on Wednesday at the Nassau Coliseum. He also spoke about the SALT, which is the state and local tax, to actually lift the cap on that, because I know it hurt a lot of people in the Northeast area where you were capped only $10,000 for write-offs. So that being the case, yeah, listen, we know we pay a lot of. I was paying almost 16 grand for property taxes on Long Island before I moved south, and I know that you're paying high taxes where you are now. You can only write off, 10,000 of that. That's all you can write off. So he's talking about lifting that so people have more money in their pockets, the middle class people, which would be fabulous. All right. The other thing he talked about was putting a temporary cap of 10% on credit card interest. You know, the banks aren't going to like that. Wall Street ain't going to like that. They're going to go against them. All right. So, you look where all the money's coming for, it was where it was going to Biden. Now it's going to Harris. It's all coming from the financial institutions, a majority of them, because they want to keep putting the people down. Everything we just presented to you as far as the financial end, Kamala does not have a plan. The agenda she's running on is the last 3.5 years of which she's been involved in with the Joe Biden. Okay. So that alone should make us go, do we want to continue this? I will say this in all honesty. We said it before. We even stated it back in December when we're talking about the economy for 2024. And I told you 2025 is going to be much worse. And it will be much worse. There's no doubt about it. I know Trump's going to inherit, a ball of shit. That's what it comes down to. Trump can get us out of it quicker. If Kamala goes into it and she wins, we're going to be in it. And she's going to dig us deeper and deeper. We'll go into 26, 27, and God knows how long further. Okay. That's my concerns. Your thoughts, Jonathan?
Yeah, I agree with that. I really just would love to hear more about what she wants to do, because I think the biggest part is that we need dialogue, right? We need open communication. So many times I was watching Charlie Kirk because he goes on universities and he talks to all the kids on campus, all the young adults on campus, let's call it, and this one woman was, kind of ridiculing him, saying, why do you come, a 30-year-old man, why do you come and challenge college students? And he's like, listen, he was with Vivek Action. He was like, listen, I'm just here to talk. You're a citizen. You can vote. I can vote. I just want to talk. I just want to know, what do you want? What do you, as a Democrat, what are you going for? What are you pushing? And he really was like, give me an example. Give me an example. And they don't have them, right? They don't have examples. They come out with these big and fluffy like remarks, but they don't back it up. And again, I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, whatever you are. I don't mind, but come to the table with something of depth so we can talk about it, and then let's see where there is possible common ground. And I think that's what we've lost in all the government, that there's no common ground. It's my way or no way. And
100%. You nailed it, buddy. You nailed it. You know what? Let's go into the last slide. Let's get off the economy. Let's go into immigration. This happened yesterday in Washington under testimony. All right. A gentleman who was the ex-border patrol chief in San Diego County. He was instructed by the Biden and Harris administration to hide terrorist encounters. Okay. I mean, and who was the border czar? Who was put in charge? Kamala. She couldn't even do that job. And now they were trying to cover everything up. There's like, don't talk about terrorists trying to get into the country. We don't want to alarm America because we want to have open borders and bring millions and millions and millions and millions of people into this country and, hurt the U.S. workers. And that's what we're looking to do. During the House Committee on Homeland Security hearing yesterday, A Country Without Borders, how Biden and Harris open border policies have undermined our safety and security. Hennick, who was the ex-Border Patrol officer, said he was muzzled for releasing critical information on the numbers of special interest aliens. They call them SIAs, these terrorists. I like how they do that. Individuals with known suspected ties to terrorism were apprehended in California. He said, quote unquote, I was told I could not release any information on this increase in SIAs or mention any of the arrests. The administration was trying to convince the public there was no threat at the border. I mean, Jonathan, what are your thoughts on that?
And it kind of goes perfectly for what they've done, right? It's all about like smoke and mirror games for all of us, right? They don't tell us the truth on anything. So I guess why would you expect them to be honest with anything that's going on? Us Americans, us citizens, we know what we see, right? It's not, we don't have to see it on the news. You can go outside and you can see it. I know, in parts of New York, you can walk down and you'll see hundreds of homeless people, which is one piece, but then go look to the other side and you see the illegal aliens that are going to like five-star hotels and all that. You saw it on the news in the beginning of the year, but um it's not being talked about. No one really wants to. They just want to put it under the rug and pretend like it's not happening. But listen, whether I know Kamala is going to say that I'm not the president, I'm not Joe Biden, I'm not Trump, I'm going to be my own person, but when they ask her specific economic questions like, are you happy with the economy? She doesn't answer it. Like we said in the beginning of this, she does not answer it. She just goes hand in hand
Exactly.
to her upbringing, what she did. Great. We know your personal story. Great. We heard it. But now let's get to the meat of everything. What are you going to do for us going forward? And that's
Yeah.
again what Americans need to know. What are we signing up for one way or another? So
Yeah. Hey, Jonathan, we talked about the economy and everything, and this video is round six of logic, versus emotions. All right, and we presented everything with what's happening here in this country. From the tech industries to the hospitals to the schools, it's affecting everybody, every industry that it's affecting, and it's during the last 3.5 years of the Biden Harris administration. They're trying to say it was COVID and they made things better. And that's a bunch of horse shit. And you and I both know. Personally, after seeing what, Jamie Dimon's been saying, and he's been preaching this for a while, okay? So he's just reiterating everything. When I say a while, he's been going on for almost 12 months. Now, are you familiar with the term WOS? WOS stands for world of shit. That's where our economy is heading, into a world of shit. And you know what? We're going to need the right leadership logically to get us out of that. And who's that going to be? Who's the person who has a great resume for 4 years as president? I'm going to lay that on you now, Jonathan.
we know, Trump is going to be the one that helps us get out of this, like we've said. The one part that everyone goes against on Trump is that, hey, COVID this, right? You got us into COVID. We were at the worst of the world. We had no jobs, layoffs. But again, I think we have to be a little smarter, right? COVID wasn't just hit on America. COVID hit the entire world, right? So do you really believe that what Trump did during COVID was really, really bad? Maybe you did, maybe you do agree that it was bad, but I mean, logically thinking about it, we made more ventilators than anyone else. We were giving them to every country because they didn't have them. When we thought, I remember like, I think it was like March 16th, or you every day you watch the news. Everyone was scared. What was going to happen? Are you going to end up in the hospital? Do they have ventilators? Do they have all the therapeutics? All that. We were so scared, right? No one knew what to do. So we have to understand that Trump himself was in that piece as well. He didn't know perfectly what to do. This has never really
Mm-hmm.
happened to this capacity. And,
Sure.
to think that he didn't do anything for us, or he closed or didn't close enough, I think
Mm-hmm.
he did a great job considering what we had. I think we probably, we pushed the vaccine. Okay. That was a mistake, maybe. We pushed everyone to close their businesses, but then some people didn't need to. That was probably a mistake. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, for what he did, he didn't make people lose their jobs. He wanted to keep everyone open, and to say that Biden came in and saved the day, give me a break. I mean, the vaccine was already out, the therapeutics were there, the
Mm-hmm.
ventilators were given all around the world. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not enough to just say, in my opinion, that he was a terrible president because of COVID-19.
Yeah. Well, listen. Here's the thing too. I remember on January 17th, 2017, Anthony Fauci said 3 days before Trump was sworn in, Trump will experience an epidemic before his 4 years is up. That means all this was engineered, boys and girls, and that's what it comes down to. And when, Trump was put, actually getting the vaccine into the superhighway to make sure it happens, it gets developed, they didn't release the information that was developed until a few days after the election. Okay. But meanwhile, prior to that, prior to the vaccine, Kamala, Andy Cuomo, other Democrats, I won't take that vaccine that Trump's producing. But then as soon as they won, they pushed everybody to get that vaccine or else you're going to lose your job. Again, that's a whole nother story. That's past history, but you can't forget about it. Just remember what these bastards did, and that's what it comes down to. One thing I want to leave us, Jonathan.
I'm trying to quickly find that article.
Okay, I understood. Fact check, Fauci warned. Okay, infection outbreak. Jonathan, you can put that down in the link to our video so people can see that. Yeah. I got a great memory. I remember stuff. All right, and I see through these people's BS what happens. Someone had sent me a quote this morning, and I thought it was great, and I'm going to share it with you, and then we're just going to end this video. It said, "Our world is not divided by race, color, gender, or religion. Our world is divided into wise people and fools. It is the fools that divide themselves by race, color, gender, or religion." Something to think about. You know what? Food for thought. It's kind of like a big fortune cookie for the weekend. All right. Take a bite at it. Think about it. Listen, I hope Jonathan and I provide you with some good logic and emotions in round six of Harris versus Trump. And we look forward to you guys' comments. Please hit that thumbs up, hit the like button, and share this. Share this link with other people. All right. You guys have a great day. Take care. Enjoy your weekend.
Everyone.